appearing in various ICAR exams. So my name is Pinhunlin Darling. I belong to Shillong, Meghalaya. I have completed my undergraduation from CAU Imphal and my post-graduation from OUAT Bhubaneswar. After that, I had a 1-year work experience in ATMA, which is Agricultural Technology Management Agency in my own state. And now I am currently pursuing my PhD first year in the Division of Entomology, IRI, New Delhi. So I am here to speak on the insights of JRF and SRF preparation in entomology. So basically what we will be talking about is the eligibility criteria, the syllabus and pattern of examinations along with their book suggestions, and I'll be giving you some tips, and lastly we will talk about the scope. So basically your JRF and SRF, it is conducted by the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. It is an all India competitive examination for getting into your PG and PhD degree programs. The candidates, they can apply for it in the online mode, and the examination will also be in the online mode and not anymore through the offline OMR sheets. So yes, for this, the last date of application, it has been extended to 15 of May. Now we'll come to eligibility. So for JRF, you need a bachelor's degree, and for SRF, you need a master's degree from any government or private ICAR accredited universities. For JRF, you'll be having around 93 sub-subjects under 10 major groups, and your SRF around 73 subjects. So this will enable the student to appear in the discipline of their interest. So this year, there has been a slight change in the scheme of the examination. Well, both JRF and SRF, they will have a time duration of 2 hours, and both will be having questions of around 120 MCQs. Okay, so all of this is written in the latest information bulletin, so you can check all the information from there. And now we'll come to the syllabus. So first I'll say regarding JRF and later SRF. So for JRF, you'll have 2 units. First unit is your general agriculture, and second unit is your entomology and nematology. So the major portion is your second unit. So from here you mainly have to read your morphology portion, physiology, your ecology, taxonomy, and your control measures. So the first book, okay, for entomology is your Insecta. Insecta, which is written by Raghumurthy and TNAU scientists. Raghumurthy and TNAU scientists. This is a very pure basic book. It contains mainly the fundamental aspect of entomology, and from here you can read your morphology, physiology, and lastly your taxonomy. And for taxonomy, around 10 to 12 questions they come from there, and major part will always, over the years we have seen that the major parts normally comes from morphology, physiology, and IPM, and also ecology. So yes, that is the first book. Now the second book will be Principles of Applied Entomology, which was also written by the previous authors. From here, this mainly contains the applied aspect, okay, of entomology. From here, you can read your beneficial insects, then your IPM methods, mainly chemical and biological, then your Insecticide Act, and also the ETLs, okay, ETLs of various important pests of rice, sugarcane, and cotton. So another book would be Applied Entomology by D.S. Reddy. Well, this is a very short and crispy book. Okay, from there you for revision purpose, it is very good. Everything is written very nicely. So from there you can read your important pests along with scientific names, the nature of damage and control measures. Also toxicology portion, which is your pesticide use, their mode of action, their trade names, their formulations. You can read all from there. Okay. The next book will be your Elements of Economic Entomology, which is written by David. Well, this book, the first chapter itself, which is on beneficial insects, that means honeybee, silkworm, and your lac insect, these you can read from this book, okay? And also vector transmission and ecology portion you can read from here. And yes, one more last subjective book will be your physiology, which is insect physiology and anatomy by Pant and Ghai. Okay, so after you finish your subjective, conceptual, or textbook reading, you should always go for solving the objectives, because this will it will boost your confidence, on how much you have understood your subject. So for objectives, you can go for objective entomology by TV Prasad. Then next is also entomology treatise by him, and then entomology refresher by CP VG. So well, regarding the books, whatever I'll be telling the video, these are only the key books, okay? But if you have more time, then you can read more, and the full book list I will be giving in the caption section for both JRF and SRF, so you can cross-check from there. So now we come to the general agriculture portion. Sorry, I'll come first to the nematology portion. For this, you can read Introductory Nematology by Bajaj and Walia. Well, from here you can read your morphology, physiology, then interaction with other organisms, the control measures, and economically important nematodes. Okay, from this book, the whole book is good, so you better read it very nicely from there. Then the second book would be for your integrated nematology management. You can read from that book written by Upadhyay. Okay, you can cross check from the book list. And then the third book would be Nematology Refresher, which is written by the IRI students themselves. It is also an equally good book. And lastly, you can go for Plant Nematology at a Glance by Manjunath and Srinivas. This also, for revision purpose, it is very good, because every chapter they will give the subjective part in brief, and immediately after that they will give the MCQs related to that chapter. So for revision wise, it is a good book. Now we come to General Agriculture. Well, for this you can read General Agriculture by Namraj Sunda and your objectives by S.R. Kantwa. And if you have time, especially the UG first year, second year, third year students, if you have more time, then you can read Fundamentals of Agriculture by Arun Katyayan. Okay, so for general agriculture, you mainly stress on statistics, because statistics, around 5 to 10 questions, they come from there. Then you can go for genetics, then your soil science part, and then extension part. You can go for the old and the new government schemes. Then your agricultural economic. Okay, then you can go for horticulture. The different varieties. Okay, so this much for general agriculture portion, like it is good. Okay, like you read nicely. And so yes, for a JRF syllabus point of view, this much is more than enough. So now I'll come to SRF. So when you the strategies for cracking SRF, okay, when we think of it, well, the first thing which comes in mind is that that last minute pressure, because the SRF examination, it is sometimes coinciding with your your thesis seminar, your thesis writing. So I understand it will be very difficult to manage, because looking at the syllabus also, it's very vast as compared to JRF. Like SRF syllabus, it is very vast. So yes, the only way which you can tackle it is you have to be organized with your time schedule. Okay, for how much you want to study, like you have to be organized with your study time schedule, because that will be the only way to tackle it. Because you need to do your MSc research, and at the same time you need to study. So try to make sure that at least from the day you decide to prepare for your SRF, like make sure that you should give at least some time of your day towards your SRF preparation. Okay, so for SRF, there will be 4 subjects, which is entomology, pathology, nematology, and this year they have replaced agricultural chemicals with sericulture. So for us entomologists, it is a boon for us, because sericulture means silkworms. So we somehow will be having some idea, okay, while appearing for such questions. So yes, for entomology, you can read the same books I've suggested for SRF, but if you have more time, or if you want to understand little bit more deep, then you can go for IPM by Dhaliwal and Arora. Then physiological systems in insects by Clouden, and last your insect structure and function by Chapman. Okay, so this Chapman book, it is quite a big book, but from there you can read the chapter on nervous system, then the chapter on wings and legs. Okay, from there. Then for nematology portion also you read everything which I have suggested for JRF. And then thirdly is your plant pathology. So for pathology you can read by that book by Man and Kang. Okay, that will be the first book, Plant Pathology by Man and Kang. Then second book will be your Plant Pathology at a Glance by Bhattacharya. So this book you can read on classification of microorganisms of like that of bacteria, fungi, virus. Then you can read their recent advances and more importantly the molecular techniques. Okay, you read from there. Then the third book will be your Plant Nematology at a Glance by P. Srinivas. So for pathology, these three books are good. And then lastly for your sericulture, since those who will be appearing for SRF this year, like you will be the first batch for facing the sericulture questions. But all I can do now is simply suggest you that you can read from general sericulture and moriculture, which is written by Ganga and Sulochana Shetty. So this much, for SRF, it is good enough. Okay, and yes, for SRF, the pattern, the syllabus, it has been divided into three parts. Okay, so the first section, section A, it will contain 20 MCQs of general agriculture portion, and these 20 questions, they will be common to all the subjects. Then your second section will be consisting of 50 MCQs, and this part, they will come from the core group which you have chosen, okay, for which contains the subject you want to specialize in. The core group will be in section B. That means core group means those 4 subjects I've told you, which is Ento, Patho, Nema and your sericulture. Then the third section, it will also contain 50 MCQs, but from the subject which you want to specialize in, means which you want to pursue for your PhD. Like for example, if it's entomology, then entomology will be the major part, okay, in section C. So yes, this much is good enough, okay, for your your syllabus and your book suggestion. So now I will like to give you some tips, okay. So firstly, you have to be very, very clear, very thorough with your concepts, because as you read, you will be able to rectify your own doubt. Okay, so you should be very clear with your concepts. And I would like to give one suggestion also, that for those who are graduating, like please try to maintain a good OGPA, because in the future when you apply for jobs or when you are going for higher studies, they will always consider your BSc and MSc marks. So please don't take it lightly, like make sure to score well. Okay, then yes, next will be, please practice your online mock test, because exams will be in the online mode, so you have to get used to that kind of pattern. So please go for your online mock test through various sites like that of NTA, then your ICAR JRF.com. Well, it's written JRF, but if you go to that site, you'll find both JRF and SRF mock tests there. Then you can yes, now AgriVision also, they will be organizing the online mock test, so you can practice there. And lastly, your AgriGlance. AgriGlance, it is a site as well as an app, so from there you can practice online and you can also download books, okay, from there. And regarding apps, you can also go for AgriQuest. It is there in your Google Play Store, and there's so many other apps, like you can check from there. So I remember during my time also, when my books are not with me, then I usually I practice through these apps. So talking about online, well, this year the Agri Toppers classes, okay, Agri Toppers classes, it is an online coaching program which is run by some students from IRI. Well, this is an online coaching program. It provides guidance, notes, and they also conduct tests through an interactive manner through the website or through telephonic calls, okay, for the JRF aspirants. So this year the registration, it has been closed, but next year means the present second year students, UG second year, you can apply for it next year, because they usually take the UG third year students who are JRF aspirants for next year, 2021, the ones who got through this year. So that means the present second year students, you can apply for it next year when you'll be in third year, and you can appear for JRF in 2022. And well, for this, I think so. They will be conducting one exam, and the first 50 top scorers, they will get into this online coaching program. So yes, I forgot to say that for SRF, please focus on pathology and nematology also, because your entomology portion to your JRF knowledge, whatever you have read, like you have more idea on it, right? So please give importance to pathology, nematology, and sericulture also. And every time whenever you read, like don't invest too much time on one part or few portion of the syllabus. Like make sure to give equal importance to all the sections of your syllabus, because you never know, like the question pattern also, it's not always the same every year. Sometimes they will give more from one section, sometimes from another section. So make sure that you contribute and give equal importance to all parts. Okay, so for both JRF and your SRF, well, when we study, we know that many will be appearing for these exams. So of course many will be studying, so the common questions, mainly everyone can appear, but the tough parts, like you should be able to solve the exceptional cases, okay? Because if you read the uncommon ones, which usually comes under the difficult part of the question paper, which is around 20 to 30% of the question paper, it usually have the tough questions. So if you're able to appear these exceptional cases, then you will be like one step ahead towards achieving a good rank and a good college. And also regarding the way of attempting the examination, well, first you can divide it into 3 rounds. Okay, you can divide into 3 rounds. First round will be like you appear the ones which you are 100% sure. Then the second round you can go for the ones which you are 50% sure, means two options you're sure that it is wrong, and the other two you know that the answer is one of these two. So you can appear that in the second round, and the third round will be the ones which you are around 25% sure. Well, for this third round, it means basically you're taking a calculated risk. Okay, like after you finish your second round, like if you think you haven't appeared enough to score well, then you can go for this third round. And when I say calculated risk, or when I say the 25%, it doesn't mean like the ones which you have completely no idea and you're just simply appearing. Well, not like that. If you completely don't know, then don't appear. But by 25%, I means the ones which you somehow have an idea, like maybe you have read about it during your UG, or maybe you have read somewhere through sites or some articles like that. So you can appear for that, okay, by taking a calculated risk. The next thing will be, please do analysis of the previous year's question paper, because when you analyze, you will understand which type of questions are coming frequently over the years. Then accordingly you can study. And yes, one more important thing, please do as much revision as you can. Well, for those who are studying in the last minute, well, you can read less books but revise more, okay? And for those who have been studying for quite a long time, then that you know what you should do. Like whatever the case may be, always revise more, because everything you do, like it will be benefited through your own revision, okay? Then now we'll come to the scope. Well, why I'm talking about the scope of career opportunities, it's because during my UG, I remembered like some students, they felt like entomology is a small subject and it may not have as much scope as other subjects. Well, I want to tell you that firstly, ICR, of course, they won't keep a subject which doesn't have scope. So I would suggest you that please choose a subject which you are passionate about, which you have interest, because through that you will be able to appear well, okay? You will be able to perform well. So please choose a subject which you are interested in, okay? So the career opportunities will be like, if you are interested in the academic line, you can go for agricultural research service, or you can go for assistant professor. And if you are interested in the private sector, then you can also go for the various pesticide companies. You can go for that. And also through SSC you can go for quarantine officer, or the PPO, plant protection officer, which comes under DPPQS, which is Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage. And also you can there is some entomology related jobs in Zoological Survey of India. So don't worry about the scope, means there will always be a way, so don't worry about that. And next, yes, regarding your scholarship for JRF, they will be getting around 12,640 with 6,000 contingency grant, and for SRF they will be getting 31,000 with a contingency grant of 10,000. And also for JRF level, like those who don't get the JRF seat, they will be getting the non-JRF scholarship through NTS, National Talent Scholarship. That is around 5,000. Okay, so what I want to say now is that whatever you do, please give your 100%, okay, in your studies. And when you go into the examination hall also, like, please give your 100%. Don't be stressed out. Like, you should trust your own knowledge, trust your own brain, and how much hard work you have done. So don't worry regarding that, and you just simply give your best. Okay, give your best. You trust yourself, okay, when you go. And yes, one more thing, please do apply codes or tricks as you study, because being an entomologist, I would say that I believe that our subject is around 30 to 40% memory based, and the rest is conceptual. So revision will play a very important role, okay, like it will matter a lot. So please revise more, okay, regarding revision. And for codes and tricks, well, during my time, I remember the first time when I studied entomology regarding the morphology portion, which is the external features of insects. Well, I studied in such a way that I compared the morphology of insects with our human body. Like, for example, the gena, okay, GENA, the gena in insects, it is synonymous to our human cheeks. And then the fronts in insects, it is synonymous with our nose. And what is present between the fronts and upper lip of insects, it is the clypeus, which is this region. So in that way, you can apply your own tricks, your own ways, your own ideas. And for me, through this kind of trick, I feel like I'll never forget the morphology of an insect ever in my life. So there are certain tricks, codes you can apply, okay. So that's all I have to say, and I would like to conclude by saying that please utilize this lockdown period very much effectively. Like, don't be carried away by your laziness, or don't get too much stress. Okay, when will exam be? Like, you just have to be mentally ready, okay. Like, we don't know the date will change or not, date of examination, but whatever the case may be, just be mentally ready, and eat well, sleep well, get enough hours of sleep, and give your best and leave the rest to God, okay. And also keep one thing in mind, that there is no substitute for hard work. Everything's in your hands. So that's all I have to say, and all the best, and thank you.